Welcome to Shawnee Grows, where I encourage you all to learn as you grow. Tonight, we will explore 10 must grow crops for 2025 that will help you all save money now and save money in the future, maximize yields, build your food security. Team Replay, I want to hear from you. What crops are on your list to grow to save money? Because let's face it, food prices are always changing. I mean, they could go up, they could go down, but your grocery bill doesn't have to. And what is the secret? Growing the right crops that give you the biggest bang for your buck. So I'm going to reveal 10 must grow crops for this year that will help you fight inflation, save money, keep your pantry stocked. Now, this is for both those that have a big backyard. Maybe you rent a community plot. Maybe you garden away from home with a good amount of space. Or you are a balcony or patio or container gardener, these crops can grow in both of those. They're going to really set you up for success. So let me know in the chat. We have some people with us. I'm going to say hi to you here in a minute. What have you grown to save money in the past? And maybe what's on your list this year to grow for the hope to save money every year? Because this year, let's grow smarter and take control of our food supply. Stick around with me to find out which plants will give you the best return. Here's a statement, a sentence. I want you all to let me know what you feel and think about this. Extreme weather is driving food prices higher. I just want your thoughts. Also, stick around for the bonus list at the end of this live stream. Now let's go see who's in the chat. So I do have an announcement that I pinned. Everyone, please stay safe. If you are in the path of any storms or weather going on, have your weather radio on and turned up. I am in a watch currently. So if during this live stream my weather radio goes off, I will be bringing up my Be Right Back screen and turning off my camera and mic so I can go hear what's going on, just so you're aware. Miss Sharon is here. Hello, good to see you. Happy Friday. Let's say that for a second. Happy Friday. We all made it to Friday. Maybe you're already in Saturday. It's good to be here. It's been a week. Storms, radios, and cats. Hello. Welcome to this. Tammy Harder, welcome. Says hi, everyone. Okay, we do have a poll going. So as you come in, answer our poll. For those in the replay that don't get to see it, it says, which crop do you think saves the most money when homegrown? Potatoes, tomatoes, beans, or leafy greens? That's what is in the poll. So let's get to our 10 must-grow crops for 2025. Put your ideas in the chat as we go along. Potatoes. It's a high-calorie staple. It's very easy to store. We have Jack Beanstalk walking into the room. Hello and good evening to you. For me, I like a good white potato, so a russet. For yellow, I don't plant as much of, but I would choose a Yukon Gold. And then I always usually plant red with my white, and I would do a red Pontiac. Now, I do not have easily successful environment to grow sweet potatoes. Now, some people, sweet potatoes grow better for them than a regular white, yellow, or red potato. So just understand which potato thrives in your area. Now, I can attempt to grow sweet potatoes, but it's not something I can really rely on to have a lot of. You know what I'm saying? So you can plant potatoes from a co-op, a store, or an organic marketplace. You, if you've grown potatoes in the past, save them. Save a section of them for planting again. and you'll never have to buy a potato again, right? Maybe you got potatoes from a local farm. Save some and plant them this season. I've even planted ones that came from the store. You know what I mean? Now, the caveat to this is if your health can handle the carbs, not all people can eat potatoes. So understand your limitations with your body. So I do have here, these are 2 russet potatoes. And as you can see, they have sprouted. So this is a healthy sprout on a potato. If you see those white, long, spindly shoots, those are not good. Those are equivalent to a stretching seedling, reaching, not a healthy one. So if you have that, you can break them off and it'll grow new eyes and new sprouts again. What I'm doing right now, because these will get planted in a month, is they're just in a baking pan or a box. It's a tray that's just out where it gets sun at some point in the day. It's not in my dark basement anymore because I'm wanting this to happen. It's not directly sitting in a window or anything. It's just on a cart in my kitchen. So this is a red Pontiac. And so there's the sprout from that one. So you want a healthy sprout. Now I plant them directly like this. I don't cut them up. I don't let them dry after cutting them up so like the scab heals. I just plant them like this. Okay, people were greeting Jack. Gandalf Smith, hello. Welcome to our Friday night discussion about some crops that you should grow to help your grocery budget. In any size area, you can grow these. Silly Lily, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How are you tonight? Yes, some folks can really live off of the potatoes, but there are some people out there that cannot have them. Tammy Harder, I like the little buttery yellow potatoes, Yukons. They tend to be my favorite. Yeah. Miss Sharon is sending out the reminder. If you're in the live chat or even on the replay in the chat, replay is on. Make sure you have touched the button, clicked it to make it say live chat, all messages. We don't want to be in top chat because then you're going to miss some people's comments. So going down the list, number 2, beans for drying. They are protein packed and great for soil health because they're a nitrogen fixer. They provide food during the non-growing season. And again, you're going to see a theme here. You save some and plant them again the next year. You bought it once and then now you're going to keep growing it, right? See how the money is being stretched here? This is an example of some dried beans. I have 2 different kinds here. One's mother. Oh, now I can't remember the name. One's called the 1500-year-old cave bean. One's called Good Mother Stollard. See the difference in the shape, and they still have the same kind of color, but I grew that, and I can plant it just like this in the ground and have it happen again, and I don't have to spend any money. Onions. Onions. I am growing onion starts right now, and I'm going to also plant the sets. So this is dangerous. This is a 2nd-year onion, and it's normally going to throw up a flower and give me seeds, which is okay. I'll keep the seeds. But if I want an actually bulbed onion, not a lot of people have success with this, but there are people out there that say they swear by planting that second year set, and they get ginormous onions. So when we talk about onions, oh, I almost dumped that. Understanding what type of onion you need to plant. So here is a map from Johnny's, and it's of the United States, and it has these different colors and words on it, and it's talking about long day onions, intermediate day onions, and short day onions. Short day being yellow, long day being blue, intermediate is in the middle there. So when I'm looking to buy an onion, I'm looking for long day because I live in Minnesota. It has to do with daylight hours, when it's going to bulb. And I'm looking for storage onions because some onions aren't storage capable. So there's your map. The link is in the description. If you've had trouble with onions, maybe it's because you were growing the wrong kind according to your latitude and day length. Oh, silly Lily, have a bit of a headache. I never get them, so trying to figure out what is up. The glorious thing about headaches is it's 101 reasons. I hope you're able to investigate and figure it out. Storms, Radios, and Cats says, why does YouTube just get rid of top chat? Can we just, why? Why is it even an option? Tack Master, I didn't even know that was a thing. Miss Sharon agrees with Storms, Radios, and Cats. Welcome in, Tack Master. Storm says, onions, my third favorite veggie. They're really good aromatic. Like I said, they're fantastic for broth. They feel like a staple crop. Now, if I can get them to successfully go through a cycle, like I said, I grew this last year, and this is as big as it got. So some people would go, wow, I really failed. Well, I'm keeping them. I have more than this, and I'm going to plant them again, the pointy side up, the roots down. And if it gives me a flower and seeds, then I will save the seeds and grow the starts the next year. You know what I'm saying? So I have these to get an actual onion, and I have these because I want to try and produce seed. Now, onion seeds, they don't store well. Like, you need to use them the next year for onions. Plant them all, get more. Tomatoes, they're versatile. They can be high yielding. They're great for preserving, and they're easy to seed save from. We encourage everyone to seed save from heirloom. It's a guarantee that you're going to get the parent plant. But if you cannot eat nightshades or you can't digest tomatoes, this should not be on your list. So for my household, my husband has GERD and has a lot of trouble eating many meals with tomatoes. Now we do grow yellow tomatoes. That helps with like eating a fresh tomato and him not having an episode from it. But the yellow tomatoes I find don't make a very good storable sauce. So yes, of course we like spaghetti and pizza for the kids, but it's definitely not that important. Now for BLT season, of course. But again, like if you know your body cannot handle any of the foods on our list tonight, it shouldn't be on your list at all. Just because I'm saying it could be a money saver, it isn't if you can't eat it. So when a tomato is ripe, we like to scoop the seeds out and put it in a jar with water. And we're going to let it soak for 24 hours, 12 hours. We're trying to get that membrane off the seeds. Then you can drain it and strain it and dry the seeds on a paper towel. And once they're dried fully, you can store them for plant for next year. So again, common theme tonight with our potatoes, with our beans for drying, with our onions. Now we're talking about tomatoes. Save the seed and plant it again. You bought it once and you're going to eat over and over and over again. That is the point of saving money on your grocery bill, right? Silly Lily, probably need to drink more water. Well, there you go. Jay Dixon, sorry, late. Various different announced times for the show. Yes. So I have a job remotely and I got asked to work more than I expected because this show was planned like a week ahead of time, honestly. I was ambitious. Um, so that was the first part of, well, I don't really know when I can go live. The second part is there has been multiple levels of bad things and stress in my personal life this week. So I was teeter-tottering on the edge of, do I want to do this or not? So thank you for being here and finding the show. And you can always catch the replay. And it's good to see you. Right, silly Lily. Yes. Tammy Harder likes green tomatoes, salsa verde, yummy. Jay says, I am watching the first bit on double speed to catch up, and I have the temporarily chipmunk voice. Gandalf has a good story here. I've been growing the same beefsteak tomatoes for over a dozen years at no cost. That's what we're talking about, everybody. Saving the seed. I mean, how many seeds do you get from one tomato? You know, just one tomato. A lot of seeds, right? Silly Lily says to Jay Dixon, now that would be funny, chipmunk voice. And Miss Sharon says, Gandalf, that's the goal. That's right. So our next conversation looks like it's number 5, is this beauty right here. It's the winter squash pumpkin conversation. Heavy production, long storage, right? It takes space to grow. For a butternut or a candy roaster, those vines can get 20 feet long. But see this one? Butter bush and honey nut, they only get like maybe 4 feet long. So if you had a bucket, a grow bag, a container, and you had that vine just come out of it just a little bit, you can have shelf long storage squash too. Rooftop garden, balcony garden, you want to get the butterbush or honey nut varieties. The other thing about these is you eat it, obviously. You can eat the seeds when you clean them and roast them, but you will save the seeds and plant it again, just like we keep talking about, right? Now, if you're allergic to this food or you think it's yucky, this is not going to be on your list, okay? You're going to find something else and replace it, right? Tammy Harder says, oh, awesome, Gandalf. Gandalf says, I need to find some heirloom bell and banana pepper seeds. And then grow them a distance away from each other so they don't cross. Silly Lily says, butternut squash are my favorite after the sugar pumpkin. Now, I do not have any pumpkins here. I have one at the offsite garden that's still in pumpkin format. Hasn't been gutted for seeds yet. Tammy Harder says, that is my favorite squash. They are kind of a pain to peel them, but I canned them and they are so delicious. Let's move on to number 6. We have no examples of this behind me, but if you're confused about any of these varieties, let me know in the chat and we'll whip up a picture. So I have on here leafy greens as a money-saving must-grow crop for this year. So when I say leafy greens, more hardy stuff like kale, Swiss chard, shijumitsa. What is shijumitsa? It is a cross between tatsoi and komatsuna. So you could grow kamatsuna and tatsoi and shijumisa and see which one of those you like. Maybe you like the cross. Maybe you like one of the parents. But it's something to try. It's much better than any of the spinach conversations. Like just do this instead. Kale is pretty tolerant to cold weather. And Swiss chard. You can do all kinds of stuff with the leaf depending on if it's a baby or a mature. And then the stem, I've seen people ferment them and pickle them. So I think it's super important to have on your must grow list. So when we stick to our theme of, okay, seed save, you would let this go to flower at some point in the season and you would seed save from it. Or you spend the $2, $3 to get, what is it, 25 seeds, 50 seeds to grow it again. Because what do we always hear about at the grocery store with the leafy greens? First of all, a head of lettuce is no longer 99 cents. Second of all, what is always recalled? The leafy greens. So, of course, have your lettuce as well. It's such an easy thing to broadcast and it can grow in any kind of container. But these ones are the tougher hardy, I think. But if you don't eat leafy greens, don't put this on your list, right? Miss Sharon is reminding everyone to hit the thumbs up. Tammy Harder says, I should try and grow some kale this year. Now, kale is a whole nother, like, which one? Lacinato is the dinosaur kale. There's Red Russian. There's another one that I just left my brain. I like the lacinato, the dinosaur kale. That's the kind I grow. Silly Lily has a list that she likes arugula, which is a if you look at the leaf, it's a different shape and it's more spicy to me, to my palate. Romaine is a very nice sized leafy green. And then your dandelion greens, everybody, if you know that they are in a location that doesn't have the neighbor's dog peeing on it, then, or by the road, fantastic option. The baby greens are always going to be more tasty for eating fresh. And then the more mature leaves are going to be more bitter and hard. And if you like cooked greens, that would be where you go with that. Miss Sharon says leafy greens are the most recalled veggies here. Exactly. So I think it should be on the must grow list to take charge of our food security. Grow your own leafy greens. Gardening Warrior, I am listening. That's right. Great. Silly Lily says, Tammy Harder, do you can raw or roast first? That's about the squash, I believe. A lot of people freeze it. Okay, number 7. I do not have an example of because it is in the ground because I have to plant it beginning of November because I grow hardneck garlic. Now, can I grow garlic? Can I plant garlic in the spring? Yeah, I can put it in the ground and it's going to produce the greenery on the top, and it's not going to produce a very big clove, but it's all still food, right? I can still eat that. But if I want something large and shelf stable for, as long as garlic can stay on the shelf considering the conditions it's in, then I needed to plant it ahead of time. So low maintenance, it just sits in the ground. High value. Have you seen how much garlic costs? For good organic garlic, not the China stuff? I mean, come on. The shelf life, it can go bad, so some people cut it up and store it in oil in the fridge, or they freeze it, or there's this like sauce. I don't remember what it's called right now, but that's another way to preserve it. And this is another example of you grow it every year. You save, so you have a head of garlic and it has all those cloves in it. You save the cloves and you plant them and you get a whole nother head out of each clove. Now, is it always going to be a big one? No. I'm telling you right now, no. Some of them are going to be small, and some of them are going to be mid, and some of them are going to be large. Just how it goes when you grow stuff, right? But it's that thing of you buy it once, you just keep planting it because you keep saving from it, right? And it's a fantastic flavor boost and medicinal herb for broth. I'm a big promoter of making broth, whether it's veggie broth or you have chicken bones in it or beef bones in it, any kind of animal bones that you can get a hold of with your water and your salt and your vinegar and your veggies. It's fantastic for you. You should be drinking it, right? I didn't pull up a map of like who should grow hardneck and who should grow softneck. So if anyone wants to look at that, let me know. Tammy Harder says, Silly Lily, we peel them, cut them into cubes, and can them raw. And we do cook and freeze squash as well. So yes, multiple processes for the same food. Jay Dixon is caught up. Shawnee is no longer on chipmunk mode. Silly Lily says, speaking of garlic, Andy Lopez, aka the Invisible Gardener, says to grow garlic around your ornamental trees to protect from fungus, that black knot fungus, or maydays, etc. We love having gardening tips in the chat, so keep them coming. Silly Lily does say thank you to Tammy for answering the question she had. Number 8 on the list is one of my favorites, and it is not easy to grow, and it's the carrot. I love carrots. They have different varieties. So, depending on what kind of container or area or type of earth you're trying to grow in, you're not all going to be able to get a 7, 8, 12-inch carrot. Grow a smaller one, a Scarlet Nantes, a Danver, something that is more achievable to give you that successful harvest. Grow one that's for storage life. They have carrots that are specifically made and grown to be juiced, right? You always have to have some fresh, and then I want to have a whole dedicated area of carrots growing for me for the storage purpose. Why do I like them so much? Well, again, they're in my broth. They're in the soup bases, the mirepoix. They are a crunchy, delicious snack. They're good for ladies. Now, to continue on with our theme of keeping it and growing it again, you leave some in the ground, and on year 2, so the greenery is died off in your winter season, the carrot root is still in the ground. On year 2, when it starts to warm up, it will start to grow new greenery. Don't pick it, let it bolt and go to flower and have a seed that forms. Save the seed. Now you have carrot seed for the next year to keep growing carrots. So that's a biennial, just like our onion conversation we were having. So who is Team Carrot in the chat? Let me know. I really, like, honestly, I could probably grow half of my big garden that's at the offsite, just carrots and just peas, and not have enough. Like, they are so beneficial for us. They store in a fridge really well. I've seen people store them in like totes of sand. I have too many carrots to store like that. I've seen people leave them in the ground for way longer than you think you're allowed to, but if you're still able to dig up your ground, then they're okay. It's nature's refrigerator. Now here, when it's frozen 48 inches in the ground, I'm not getting that carrot out, right? So I have to be on the line of what month do I pick them out and then leave some in for seed later, right? Silly Lily, I really enjoy carrots. Tammy Harder, have never grown a good carrot. Love them though. It's like one of those things where let's move it to a container then. Let's get a container that has the right mix that's fluffy and sandy, and you surface sow the seed and you keep it damp until you get germination, and now we're going to have successful carrots in this controlled environment. And then we could try to move it next year out to like a bigger area, or just keep growing them in a container, because we all want carrot success, right? Resourceful living homestead, any tips on growing bell peppers? Mine just won't sprout. Well, so you've done a germination test, like old school, wet paper towel in a plastic baggie or a domed, like, rotisserie chicken container, and you waited to see if the seed had the little sprout come out of it, and none of your seeds have sprouted. Did you try that? Or were you putting them in soil and you're not seeing sprouts? Because then we go to, what environment are you growing in? Peppers like heat, right? So, is it a grow area in your home with the proper lighting and fan and temperature? Because a lot of peppers have to have all those things. All seeds have to have all those right things in order to go for it with their life. Now, the way around it is you buy starts from your local nursery for the bell peppers that you want, and you harden them off and transplant them in your garden, and you just skip growing from seed altogether. So with that being said, um, let's see what you've said in the chat. Tack Master says, me, I love carrots. And it is good to see you, Resourceful Living Homestead. Hello, if I didn't say that. Jack Beanstalk, I'm doing Danver in the ground. I grow Danver, yep. And I grow Scarlet Nantes, and I think there's another one that I grow. But I don't have like the seed list in front of me. I did go over everything I'm growing in a seed haul, previous live stream back a couple months. Jay Dixon, I saved carrot seed for the first time last year. So you're going to plant them and let us know if the carrots will grow. Tack Master was going to try to grow purple ones, but I've heard it's quite hard. I grew a rainbow mix. It wasn't last year. It would have been the year before. And it's cool. It's cool to be like, what color is it going to be? Because they're all green at the top. It's not until you poke around where you find out what color it's going to be. Storms, radios, and cats. Fresh carrots straight from dirt and into my belly. Radio Jonesy, well, hello. I'm waving at you. Welcome to our conversation. Good to see you. Everyone is saying hi to Jonesy. Apparently I said something great. Thanks, Silly Lily. Okay, here we go. Resourceful Living Homestead. We're talking about pepper seeds. Have them in a wet paper towel now, but nothing. Do you have them in a warm place with the paper towel? Like, for example, people often say putting them on top of your fridge freezer, like it's warm up there. I would question the seeds, where you got them from. Okay, now I have a message here that says I have them in my greenhouse. Okay, what is the temperature in there? Because for peppers to germinate, for that seed to want to pop open, let's find out here, because I don't want to guess and give you the wrong answer. Peppers are on the list. We're going to get back to the list in a minute here. Don't forget to stick around for the bonus items, because there's a lot of them actually to help us save money on our grocery bill. So anything between 75 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit was the quick answer, but at 90 is too hot if you ask me. So I would go with 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature that seed needs, plus moisture, in order to open up and sprout. So if potting soil is cold, if the area is cold, sometimes it takes 5 days, sometimes it takes 20 days. So then the other part of this, besides temperature, if you can answer that, is how many days has this been rocking and waiting? Maybe you need to wait longer. How many times have you done this? Do you know the source of the seeds? Are you really hardcore on you want to grow from seeds, or do you want to just go to a nursery and buy starts? Those are just the things you ask yourself every year as a gardener. What am I doing, Jay Dixon, I just plant my carrot seeds densely and let nature sort it out. I am charmed by multicolored carrots. Yeah, aren't they cute? Yeah, the thing about sowing them densely is thinning them later so they can bulk up. Otherwise, then you just get a bunch of baby carrots, right? Resourceful Living Homestead, I may have to get starts from a nursery, but was really determined to use seeds only this year. We all have that moment of like, I am doing it all. I am growing all of the seeds. And you know what happens at a nursery? It's not the options that maybe you wanted because you bought a nice seed packet of something that's way cool and has a purpose in your life. But the nursery just has like 5 boring, plain, you know what I mean? There's this balance beam of, well, if I can't get it to work and I still want peppers, I'm going to have to go to the nursery, right? Radio Jonesy, I found if you grow bell peppers from seed, it's best to use red pepper seeds. Oops is like temperature. Yeah, peppers will not germinate if the temperature is wrong. So they're probably too cold. And Radio Jonesy says, just because it's an older pepper. Hello, oops, welcome to this. We're just conversating about crops that you should grow to take control of your food security, to save money every year, right? J. Dixon, peppers prefer bottom heat, like a heat mat. Jack, beanstalk, you can use a regular heating pad, like for your backache, like a medical one. Put a towel on it though, so it doesn't get too hot. And Jack specifically uses the degrees 79 to 83 Fahrenheit to get the pepper seeds to germinate. So soak up all these tips, Resourceful Living Homestead. I will keep waiting. It's been 2 weeks. The temp is 75 in there. Silly Lily, I am going to say goodnight and not feeling well. See you again. Please rest. Please get well. Please lay down. We will see you around. Thank you for coming in. Oops, I have a chihuahua that sorts out dense planted carrot, beet, parsnip, and many other things. Are they paid well? Jack says I even put cups of soil on the heating pad and bring it up to temp with the sandwich baggie over the top. Yeah, because seeds like pepper, they do not want cold soil, right? I like to do, like, for this conversation with Resourceful, we were talking about doing the paper towel method just to see if one opens, that one for sure you'll plant, and then not planting it too deep, only planting it the depth it needs to be, which is like twice the size of the seed. Yes, goodbye, Silly Lily. Hope you feel better soon, says Tammy. So, peppers was literally the next crop that I was going to talk about, and I don't have any here to show you because I didn't have the greatest pepper harvest last year. So, you have your bell, your sweets, or your hot varieties. Peppers are great for fresh eating. You can dry them whole, and like there's ways around this. So like you could just hang dry them. You can um smoke them on the grill to get that flavor and then finish dehydrating them in a dehydrator, and always store them whole. And when you're going to use one, the different methods that I really want to master is grinding it up to order, like when I need it, for a powder for a seasoning, and taking that whole dried pepper, you rehydrate it with some water, and in a blender, you're adding the pepper, some roasted onion, tomato, garlic with some oil and a little bit of water or broth, and you're making a sauce now for enchiladas, for example. These are things I want to get good at, is the drying very flavorful peppers, like your paprika. There's many different varieties that you can grow to make your own paprika seasoning. Now, the reason I say store it whole and only powder to order is you lose flavor. Excuse me. You lose the flavor. As soon as you powder it, it's now got that ticking clock of, I'm not going to taste so good. So that's why we don't like powder it all right away. You store them dried whole, like you can buy at any store. You see them in the plastic. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Um, so who in here does stuff like that with peppers? Anybody? My goal this year, and I honestly, like, I'm supposed to have started my peppers by now, and I haven't. So I should really do that like tomorrow. Because I don't like all the pepper varieties at the nursery, but I always will buy from there if I have to, if that's what it means to me to get a pepper harvest, right? Um, the seeds inside the peppers. Now, this is where it's a little controversial. Try saving them and try growing from them. Always try. Like, bottom line, try. Now, a lot of gardeners have said the flavor is not the best. They just rebuy new pepper seeds every year. Some people talk about they grew so many peppers together and they cross-pollinated that sweets are hot now and it's like a mess. So I've always bought new pepper seeds based on what people have said, but you can save seed and grow a new pepper, right? Okay, Jay Dixon is talking to Resourceful Living Homestead. Air heat may not be the same as soil temperature in your greenhouse. Absolutely. Oops says we have dried peppers hanging everywhere. When I think of dried peppers, I definitely think of like those little red hot chili ones, right? And then your jalapenos and your poblanos. And like I said, I want to dry, is it luchauer for a paprika? Mm-hmm. Gandalf will be right back. Jack says, Silly Lily, good night. Jay Dixon says to Oops, can we hire your chihuahua for garden weeding? Miss Sharon, I dehydrate most anything. Oops, says Jay, if it's edible, she'll fix it. Jack Beanstalk, I freeze chilies whole to use in salsas, and I dry some to make enchilada sauce. I am trying to think of what else we use peppers for. Chili, we use peppers in chili, and I freeze bell peppers for like stir fries and whatnot. Maybe there's peppers in soup out there somewhere. Like, obviously, there's your pickled peppers, your fermented peppers. It's if you can eat them, like again with my husband's health, we can't grow all the super hot peppers anymore. There's like one plant here and there, of course, and do stuff with, but we can't just eat constantly hot peppers anymore. We have to mix up the variety. Like I feel like shishito is in its own category. Like it's not a sweet bell and it's not a hot pepper. It's this own lane, a shishito. Oops says to Jay, I have to plant her own garden area to have one for myself. Whoa, Crazy Life Homestead. Hello, gang. How's it going? Welcome in. Resourceful Living Homestead. Thanks all for the tips. We really hope you have some success and we get an update about the pepper seeds. Because, yeah, sometimes it just takes a little adjustment to one of the 5 things and bam, it sprouts and you can put it in some soil, right? Oops says carnival peppers too. Red, yellow, green, and purple. Miss Sharon says, hello, Crazy Life Homestead. Yeah, good to see you. Back to our list. Stick around for the bonus because I've got more to say. 10, corn. Corn is difficult to grow. You have your sweet corn for fresh eating. You have your dent corn, your grain corn for animal feed and storing to make tortillas or grits. And then the popcorn. That's what I want to get good at. So the popcorn seeds. There's your normal, I feel like normal yellow, and then there's like a white one, and then I also have blue. So back to the theme here. You grow it and you save some from it and you keep planting it so you don't have to buy it again to save your money, right? If you can eat corn, there are people that can't handle it in any form. If that's you, don't put corn on your list, okay? Seriously. This is just a brainstorming session on things you can grow to save money on your grocery bill, to take control of your food supply. Maybe you know someone that grows corn much better. Let them do it. Okay? Put something else here on your list, right? Yes, Jay Dixon has GERD. That's what my husband has. We've been together 16 years and we've only known about the GERD for 5. And we're able to use natural medicines and tinctures to help balance out, like, hey, I'm about to eat something that's on the no list and prepare my body to handle what's coming, right? There's stuff that he can take daily to just keep it in line. because we believe in that. Oops, Jay Dixon, ever try baking soda in really warm water? Are you saying drink it? Crazy Life Homestead, most of the seeds I planted 2 weeks ago came up. Hey, citronella, marigold, onion varieties, leeks. That's amazing when you can say happy birthday, little seedling, right? Jay Dixon says to oops, not yet. I just heard that option recently. Oops says to Jay, I did a 1/4 teaspoon. In areas? In areas. What? Crazy Live Homestead. When this storm leaves, I'll be putting my green stalks together and planting strawberries and herbs. That is fantastic. Yeah, we talked about earlier in the stream, like the storm potential. And then green stalks are fantastic. I am going to get a code for everybody. If they want to buy a green stalk, they can use my code. It's not in the description yet because I've been really busy with some other stuff going on. Strawberries are fantastic. Herbs are coming up on the bonus list as well. Because how much are herbs at the store, right? So it's fantastic that you're able to get growing. I have to wait. I have to wait another almost 2 months. Miss Sharon says to Crazy Life Homestead, that's what I'm waiting on too. Oops says to Jay, I did a 1/4 teaspoon in really warm water once a day for 2 weeks, and I have no problem at all now. Really warm water is the trick. So we can't forget about our herbs. So we talked about 10 crops. Grow 10 different herbs too. Tell me in the chat, what herbs do you grow? I don't have 10 listed here, but of course there's your basil, parsley, cilantro, oregano, dill, thyme, rosemary. These are all awesome additives to broth, like I keep talking about tonight. Make broth, right? Some of these go to seed easier, and you can plant them again. Like cilantro seed is technically coriander is the name, but you can dry it, save it, let it mature till dry on the plant, save it, and keep planting cilantro. The secret I've been told is you just keep planting it every 2 weeks because everyone's like, mine always bolts. What's the secret? Keep planting it every 2 weeks. That's the secret, right? Dill usually goes to flower and seed pretty easily. But rosemary, you can grow more by cuttings. Basil goes to seed easily. Parsley, I love it here in Minnesota. Like I had a spot that I planted parsley, and then the winter came, and then the spring came, and the parsley came back, and then it went to flower, and then it made seeds everywhere. And now I feel like I have permanently established parsley here at my rental home, and I need to do the same thing at my offsite garden now. Because I can use parsley in so much. It's such a good herb for me. Oregano and thyme are really good to make tea out of when you're sick, as well as cook with, right? So Miss Sharon is doing her thing, talking about the community and supporting the channel. We have a website called shawneegrows.com. We're actually going to show what's on the website in our next future live stream, which we'll talk about towards the end of the show, what's going on. Storms, radios, and cats. I can relate to the crazy stuff getting in the way, Shawnee. Yeah, like I prepped this live stream last week. If I wouldn't have done that, there wouldn't be a live tonight because that's how bad my week's been. So I'm very thankful for previous Shawnee and all the work she did. Oh, Jay says to oops, thanks for the tip. Miss Sharon would like everyone to be aware that we have a podcast. Did you know? Have you seen? Have you heard? There is a tab in the channel that says podcasts. It's called Learn as You Grow. Go on in there and play me while you're driving or on your way to Sleepland. Mint, Jay Dixon says, I have accidentally established mint here too. It was in a container. That little root snuck out the bottom hole and was in the ground. And now the mint lives here forever. Now I dug a bunch of it up just to try and be courteous for the next person. And what I like to do is I take the mint, sometimes the whole root comes out, right? And you have the stem, and I strip the stem and have the leaves, and I take the leaves and I go all over the garden surface. And it's supposed to confuse pests. Plus it's decomposing into the soil and feeding the soil food web. Now I don't do that with the root or the stem because I don't want it to propagate everywhere. I would like to get better at consuming mint, but mint is bad for GERD. So, like, my peppermint loving husband completely had to give it up. Nothing, he can't have anything peppermint. I even tried giving him a tension tamer tea that had part peppermint in it. Nope, instant problems. So, I would like to get better at adding peppermint leaves to like a cold tea in the summer. I don't actually have a lot of cooking with it. Now I know there's cooking ideas out there um, for sauces and like mixing it with watermelon and stuff, but it's just not my household's thing. I like adding it to bouquets, honestly. It adds that like greenery scent to a bouquet. Those are the things I've used mint for. Crazy Life Homestead, if you guys haven't heard, she's been sick as a dog for the last 2 weeks. Like she's on medication, in and out of doctor's offices, emergency room on Tuesday night. She's just trying to get back on her feet. And folks, she takes care of horses this whole time she's been sick. Life doesn't just stop. So head on over to her channel and show her some love when you're done here. Oh my goodness, says Miss Sharon to Crazy Life Homestead. Storms, Radios, and Cats says, sorry to hear it, Mo. Hope you get back to 100% soon. And she says, thanks, Barry. And Oops is still talking about the water, about 3 or 4 ounces of water, Jay. Yeah, it's good to have exacts when you're doing any kind of recipes, right? Jay Dixon says to Crazy Life Homestead, me too. 10 to 12 weeks of the same, just coming back now. Storms, Radios, and Cats. Yes, I have heard the podcast. Really cool. Jay Dixon, Shawnee Grows, take care of yourself and your life. If you need to delay, we understand. I appreciate that. Like I said, it almost didn't happen. We have mint jelly coming up on the suggestions for what to do with our herbs. What herbs do you grow? Storms, Radios, and Cats. Yeah, sun tea with your favorite tea. And mint is amazing. Jack Beanstalk, blackberries, and grapevines can take over yard too, like mint, if not maintained. I learned this one year. I have heard that with blackberries. Yep. I didn't know that with grapevines. Somebody, it was Bowtie Life in the Garden, was just showing loofah, like completely ransacked and took over, which I don't grow here. But it's like things you need to know or you learn as you grow, right? Lemon too, Storm says. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the crops in general that we just spoke about, the 10, and then I'm gonna get to the bonus list, okay? So the key points about these crops, the high nutrition value. They provide a diverse range of vitamins and minerals, ensuring a healthy diet. The storage potential for all of these. Many of these crops can be preserved through canning, freezing, drying. You know, they just sit on the shelf, allowing for year-round access. It's important to be able to feed ourselves all year and keep growing, right? And then the variety of uses, depending on what you're growing. You can eat them fresh, cooked, or incorporate them into different ways and things. Excuse me. Now understand, besides your actual body and what you can consume, like we talked about, if you can't have nightshades or you're sensitive to tomatoes, don't grow them. If you can't digest corn, don't grow it, right? Also look at your climate. Choose varieties that thrive in your region for optimal yield. The potato conversation. I cannot rely on sweet potatoes whatsoever. I have to grow white russets or Yukon Golds, which are yellow, or a red Pontiac, red potato. Now, other areas over yonder have to just rely on a sweet potato because the other potatoes don't grow well. So, understanding your body, your health, and your climate when you're making these lists. Don't forget succession planting. Plan to plant crops with different maturity times to ensure continuous harvest throughout the growing season. I always give this example with carrots. Have different packs of carrots. Some are ready in 45 days, some are ready in 60 days, some are ready in 80 days. This is just an example. Don't quote me that there's carrots that have that exact germination to maturity. I don't know. I'm making it up. But I know that there's a staggering you can do. Plant them all at once, but you're not going to have them all ready at once. You're going to have your earlies, your mids, and your lates. Understanding that maybe you can plant carrots in June and you can plant them in July. So that's a definite example of succession planting. A lot of times you plant every 2 weeks to keep up with, okay, the first thing I planted, I'm now harvesting, but there's still something coming into maturity behind that, right? This list adjusts for your growing environment. So if you're in the South, perhaps your list would have black-eyed peas, collards, peanuts, watermelon, okra on it for things that would save you money and feed you well and actually produce in your climate. Maybe in the North, your list has barley on it, sugar beets, peas, flax, quinoa, and amaranth. Just because I gave you 10, that's not the hard and fast list. We are brainstorming ideas because, again, we are trying to take charge of our food security and our money, right? If you live in a tropics area, a rainforest, we all have completely different lists, right? Here's the bonus that I wanted to talk about in the beginning, but bonuses come at the end, right? The 10 must grow crops for you this year are actually perennials for your zone. Looking at things that will produce something in the spring, the summer, and the fall. Please plant your perennials. If you think that you're in a place where you can't permanently put anything in, put it in a green stock, put it in a bucket, put it in a 50-gallon container, like whatever it needs. Make it movable then. Because I'm telling you what, perennials are a lovely thing. So for example, my area in Minnesota, I have success with strawberries, asparagus, raspberries, blueberries, apple tree, pear tree, plum tree, walking onions, establishing mushrooms somewhere, mulberry tree, a honeyberry bush, gooseberry. I don't know if it's called a cane, but it looks like a cane, so I think it's called a cane. Currants, cherries. We do like a tart sour cherry here. Your chives. Now, I've never grown sorrel or lovage, but it was on the list of perennials for greens for Minnesota. So now I'm going to have to buy that and plant it and try it. So really the main thing, if I could make a point here to everyone here that is watching, 14 watching, thumbs it up while you're here, and anyone in the replay, is please get some perennials, okay? Now, maybe you don't know where to get perennials or how to figure out what perennials are for you. Well, you got to know that thing called your zone. We've looked it up before on previous live streams. You go to your search engine, you go, what is my zone? You're going to go to Farmer's Almanac. Maybe that's going to pop up as a search. You go to their website and it's going to go, okay, type in your zip code. Bing, here's your zone number. I used to be 4B. Now the USDA says I'm 5A. But honestly, I like to pick perennials that are okay down to 3, zone 3. So if I get a really bad cold winter, I know that it's going to be okay because it's made to handle a much lower zone Now you have to get careful with certain things that need chill hours, like a blueberry, for example. Certain blueberry types have certain amounts of chill hours necessary for them to produce a berry. So, like, I have to have, was it Northern Blue or Northern Polaris? I have two different kinds or three different kinds because they can pollinate each other and they have the right amount of chill hours for my area. If you want to shop around, let's go shopping, eh? We have websites in the description. This one is called Farm on Central. So here we have garden herbs and flowers, roots and rhizomes, comfrey, ginger, turmeric, garlic, onion, horseradish, Jerusalem, artichoke, seed potatoes, Chinese artichoke. They have fruit plants, strawberries for the spring producing and ones for the fall. Like we talked about, we need to have stuff coming in all the seasons, right? Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, grapevines, figs, arona, and chokeberry, goji berry. Shrubs and trees, elderberry cuttings, willow cuttings, red dogwood, forsythia cuttings, ginkgo, weeping willow, black locust, black walnut, osage, orange pawpaw, and witch hazel. I have to see if witch hazel grows here. Mushroom kits, soil health and amendments. And they even sell sourdough starters. So this is a place where you could go to shop if you really don't have somebody local to you. Another place is called Peaceful Heritage, fruit and nut trees, berry and small fruit plants, pawpaw trees, natives, perennial plants, cuttings, seeds. Maybe this place has what you need. This one is called Dixondale Farms, and they are the nation's largest onion plant grower. So remember we talked about that map, about which day length, latitude, onion bulb formation you should be shopping for. Figure that out, and maybe you want to go over to Dixondale Farms and order some onions to plant, right? Maybe. These are just options. It doesn't mean you have to, right? I ordered honestly from Stark Brothers. Now, a lot of people have had mixed things happen with them. What I kind of liked was I could go, which their website is linked in the description here, Stark Brothers. You could go in there and go, okay, I want to look at fruit trees for zone 4. And it could give you a list of things that are supposed to grow there. Which specific variety of apple, for example? Does it need a pollinator? How many feet apart and close do they need to be planted to talk to each other? I like to shop Earth Day sales, and I liked Stark Brothers warranty. I had a tree that I bought from them that died, and they gave me my money back. Not everyone has great experiences with Stark Brothers. I think one of the main things to remember is there's got to be a local nursery and greenhouse in your state somewhere. But I am not a travel bug. So if they ship it to my house in a box, I'm going to pay for that 100% all the time. Then go drive to a greenhouse nursery. Let's just be honest here. Right? Back to the chat we go. Jay Dixon, Bowtie has many videos about the Loofah Odyssey. Crazy, crazy times. Yes, indeed. Storms, radios, and cats. Red taters. Miss Sharon is sharing out the links. Thank you so much. Tammy Harder says to Jack, I would welcome some blackberries. I've been wanting some. Miss Sharon says, long list and small garden is tough. Right. It is tough. It is, to have just 10 containers and grow one of each of the crops we've listed tonight is not enough, right? It makes you feel like it's not enough. But to do anything, to do something is enough. When you're having limited space, start taking over other people's space, right? We can ask them, right? Like, hey, you're not doing anything with this space. Can I grow food here? Tammy Harder, beets are so good for you. There are beets that are good for grilling, good for juicing, pickling, roasting. Beets can definitely be on your must grow crop list if you consume them enough to make it worth it. Remember to hit the thumbs up. Tack Master, I'm 5A also. Jay Dixon, I inherited red currants on my lot. I can harvest 50 to 60 cups. I trade with a local baker, jam maker. Fantastic. Jack, I was zone 9B for many years, but they changed it to 10A now. Yeah? Crazy Live Homestead, I'm still trying to figure out where I'm putting 20 trees for Arbor Day. Everyone plant a tree. Jay Dixon says to Miss Sharon, I also have small garden angst. Jay Dixon says to Crazy Live Homestead, I can give you my address to host your excess trees. Tack Master, that was supposed to be I, but I. Okay. Fox and Outdoors just got here. I thought I'd missed all of tonight's lives. Well, thanks for coming on in. We just talked about 10 crops to grow to save some money for y'all. We talked about herbs. You should grow 10 herbs too while you're at it. And then I gave a bonus list of actually, before you grow any of this, you should go plant 10 perennials first. Right? Jay Dixon says to Shawnee Grows, we grow in a community garden and I approach the unused lots. Ooh, really? I have not been brave enough to grow in a community garden plot. And now I have the offsite garden, so I don't have to. But I was really close to having to figure out the whole community garden situation in my town. And it's good to see you, Foxit. Oh, did I say it wrong again? I'm sorry. It's hard when you're reading things and you can't hear what the person means. Sorry. I'm sorry. Tammy Harder, we have a beautiful farmer's market in the warmer months, so I can grow some things. And what I can't, I will do the farmer's market for. Absolutely. It's a live stream I want to have where we look at the tools on how to find a farmer's market, how to find a CSA, how to track down these farmers and buy directly from them, right? Foxit says, great, glorious evening to you, Miss Sharon. So we went shopping. And I want to remind you, if you like what you see and hear, don't forget to subscribe for more gardening chats because that's what I like to talk about around here. Check out the description for all the links to the articles. Some items for gardening. I don't have any items for gardening per se in there, but I have everything that I showed and talked about. We are reminding you that we have shawneegrows.com. Check it out. We're going to talk about what's in that website on a future live stream. Don't forget to check out our new podcast. I have it available over on YouTube under podcasts, but it is also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Amazon Music, and it is called Learn As You Grow. We have a goal for this channel to hit 3,000 watch hours by May 31st. So share the content out, and we have an upcoming live where I'm going to speak about square foot gardening. We'll call it a one-on-one, 101 thing. Sunday, so in 2 days. And the time might change. It's usually 9 p.m. Central Time. But with the way life's going, we'll see. I might have to move it. You know what I mean? Crazy Life Homestead says, headed to bed, y'all. Storms will be here about 4 a.m. Thanks, Shawnee Grows. Great live. See ya. Sleep well. Be ready to be prepared. What did I say in my pinned thing? Have your weather radio on and turned up. We do have a poll going. Which crop do you think saves the most money when homegrown? We have 19 votes, so I think we can end it. We have tomatoes was the number one winner. 47% was the crop to save money. Let's see. Leafy greens was second place with 32%. Potatoes was third with 21%. And beans had 0 votes, everybody. Oh my goodness. Fox It Outdoors. I never get the chance to make our local farmers markets because I work on the weekends. Oh, they only have it on the weekends. At that point, I would be like if there's a directory for who goes to the farmers market, getting each which what do you want? Do you want the meat person? Do you want the, you know what I mean, the honey person, the maple syrup person? Find their farm information and just buy directly on site from them. They might be able to do that for you. Like what day, Wednesday will say you have off. You don't have to tell me what day you have off, but I would do it that way. And some of our smaller grocery stores might sell a local farms thing. You just don't know it. Miss Sharon says, have a good night to Crazy Life Homestead. Jay Dixon says, my county has lists of CSA's farm door sales and farmers markets, online and pamphlets. Yep, 100%. We have way easy access here where I'm at to the information, especially with the internet. Um, absolutely. Miss Sharon says, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and come back to comment. That's right. Tammy Harder. Shawnee, may I suggest you check Farmers Direct Minnesota? Yep. That's what I do. It's a really good resource for us Minnesota people. Yep. Yeah, I wanna have a whole live stream about like that specifically, obviously, but not everyone from Minnesota is in my chat, so I have to figure out a way on how to talk it to the whole audience. Um, yeah, our state is fantastic about providing information about where we can get, like you can even filter it organic. You can filter winter market. You can filter, there's all sorts of ways, right? Yes, the like button helps the channel. Jay Dixon says, Shawnee Grows, take care of yourself. Thank you. Tammy Harder says, oh no, no beans. Fox It Outdoors. Finding local chickens would be nice. Something that won't cost an arm and a leg. The local chickens here cost an arm and a leg. For me to go buy a chicken from, they also do lamb and pig and cow actually. And it's big bucks for me to do that. And so like honestly, just going to Quick Trip and getting a rotisserie chicken that's already cooked and then I save the bones and make broth from is so much cheaper. Is it the healthiest chicken? I mean, no. Is it delicious? Yes. Is it already cooked? Yep. So, because we don't raise any animals that we can eat. We have pets. That's that's as far as we can go right now. All right. Well, I said what I needed to say. So it's up to you guys if you want to hang out to chit chat. Otherwise, I'm out. We did an hour and 12 minutes so far. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be limiting these. So I have a time thing for StreamYard because I'm on the free plan and I got a warning about how many hours I have left. And I still have like probably 2 more live streams to squeeze in before my hours reset. So I actually should probably say goodbye in 3 minutes or less because I don't want to like not be able to do my other live streams, right? So say your goodbyes. Bye, all, says Jay Dixon. If anyone knows where there's an after party, put it in the chat and we'll go over there next. I appreciate everyone coming out. For our list, we talked about your potatoes, beans. I showed them. I have them behind me. Onions, tomatoes, your winter squash or pumpkins, the leafy greens list, the garlic, the delicious carrots, peppers, corn, grow some herbs, throw 10 herbs out. And then honestly, before you do all of that, you should plant 10 perennials and understand when are they going to come into maturity for you to eat, because you should have a mix of what's going to be edible in the spring, the summer, and the fall, right? How are you doing on watch hours so far? I'll do it this way because I think that's quicker. I can give you the total, Miss Sharon. Um, We're doing great, by the way. This is the number that we're at right now. And I'd like to hit 3,000 by the end of May. Yeah, I'd say it's nice. Okay, let's see here. Fox Outdoor, sounds like your StreamYard resets around the same time as mine. Yeah, it's whatever it's when I signed up for it, the billing cycle thing, even though it's free, blah blah blah. You know. Tammy Harder, bye. Thank you for chatting. Yes. Good night, Jack. Storms, Radios, and Cats to say your long southern goodbyes. Laugh out loud, Tack Master. Good night, everyone. I am terrible at perennials, says Fox at Outdoors. If I can't eat it, I try not to plant it. No, don't plant it if you can't eat it. I do plant some stuff for the bees who like to visit. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, you gotta have that balance of pollinators, plants. Well, everyone have a good night. As I always say, grow every day in every way and learn as you grow. Stay safe.